Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Scale Riders podcast episode. This is number 210. I am your host, 65 Locs, covering model car culture from around the world. I hope you guys are doing well. Solo episode right here, chilling all the way from the HQ. And let's just get things started. A lot of things are going on. We're already in the month of April. And as these months are flying by and, we're zipping through the year, we do have some events coming up in the month of May that I wanted to talk about and cover on this episode, along with what I'm currently working on with my builds. And then I also want to talk about restocks and new items for the online store. So let's kick things off with the upcoming events in the month of May. So in May, there are 3 events that are coming up. Let's start with the first. The first one being the SoCal Open Model Car Show. This one's being presented by Dedicated Scale Enthusiast Magazine, and it's a charity event benefiting and hosted by the Rancho San Antonio Boys Home. The address there is 2100 Plummer Street, Chatsworth, California, taking place Sunday, May 7th, 2023. So the event's going down from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And one of the cool things and exciting things about this event is that the theme is tuners and drifters. So hopefully, there'll be a big turnout with that. But you can bring pretty much any kind of a build. So this event is pretty chill, laid back, and it's more of like an NNL type style show. So one of the cool things is it's taking place in Southern California, and in the location where it's at in Chatsworth, it's like a really nice meeting point for a lot of the cities where you got LA, you got San Diego, all the way to Ventura County, and even going up more northern to like Central California as well. Gilroy, Salinas, even all the way up to San Jose. This is like a cool spot, location where people come out, and there's a lot of sponsors that are going to be a part of this. And let's get into the if you want to bring in your models, how much is it going to cost and all that stuff. So for the pre-entry, it's $15, and entry at the door, it's $20, and it's for unlimited models. So let's talk about the pre-entry. So what does that mean? Basically, if you want to already pre-register online, let's just say that you don't want to like be waiting in line and to have to fill out all that paperwork and all that stuff, you could pretty much visit laskyscale.com/SoCalOpen and do the pre-registering right there. Sign up, type in your info, pay online, and you're registered in. And you get to pay the $15 instead of the $20. So you're saving time and money right there. So once you get that squared out of the way, all you got to do now is just prep your model cars, set them aside, get them ready, or the ones that you're trying to finish up, get them as close as possible. Even if you don't finish your model and you want to just showcase at the stage, if you feel comfortable enough to want to show us that, definitely bring it down. That would be like a cool thing to do, because the more models we see on the tables, the more exciting it is, for everybody. It's really nice when modelers are very transparent into showing everybody their process or where they're at in the stages, even if the model's not done, because you see it there in its raw form, and eventually the following year you start to see the final stages or even the completion, and you appreciate the model more because you do remember seeing it at some point when it was more on its like really raw early stages. And it's very similar to like the one-to-one scale cars. You go to a show, you see a car, and it's pretty much like in its bare bones, let's say. And then the next year comes out, and now the full fabrication from the exterior is there. The interior is starting to kind of come together. The next year after that, you're starting to see more things come together. And then finally, you start to see paint, and then the final touches, and now the car is complete, So it's almost like you've been a part of the journey along with this car. So with the the pre-entry, you also got to consider too, is that helps the hosts, the people running the show, the event. You got to consider like, okay, there's a lot going on, it's a busy day, the night before, prepping, being there, setting up tables, getting everything going. And then even that morning, it must be really stressful, like not getting good enough sleep because you're probably like, moving everything around, getting everything sorted. And then you got to wake up early in the morning and be there very early in the morning to make sure you're there, turn on the lights, open the doors, and make sure everything's good. But then, when it comes down to the registering thing, that for sure, I bet it must be like a big stress for like pre-entry, because you got to make sure everyone gets in and everything gets signed up. But when it's the pre-entry, it's a lot more smoother, you're in the door and you basically just let them know who you are, and you're already pre-registered, and you're basically like able to start setting up your models right there. And at the same time, like, let's just say you pre-registered now. That's also a good motivator for yourself to basically mark that calendar, and for you to be like, I'm going to be there. I'm coming out to this show. So, there's a lot of pros to the pre-entry. And like I said, it's unlimited models, so you could just bring as many as you want. If you want to bring, one model, or if you want to bring 15 models, and look at it as like, it's like it cost me $1 per entry, if you want to look at it that way. But anyway, you can bring as many models as you want. It's all good. The more, the better, because I feel like people get to this opportunity to see, models, different styles, different genres, different takes on things. And it's definitely a good way to communicate with people too, because if you hang around your area, or someone recognizes one of your cars and then later they see you, walking around, it's a cool thing that sparks conversation when you get together and you start to like, ask questions and give that information out as to how'd you do this, or what brand is that? These are a lot of questions and things that I think a lot of people would be very excited and open to talking about, especially now with, at the stage that we're at now, where model building has gone, where there's just so much information out there, but at the same time, you're in person, it's a bit more different when you're explaining something to someone. Definitely you're going to be more transparent, explain everything. This is the way it's done, or the way I did it. I'm pretty sure you'll get some good results by doing it this way. Another thing too that I wanted to add is the exclusive drawing for pre-entries only. And then there's also so juniors are going to be free, spectators are free. I'm going to try to find out more info on the exclusive drawing for pre-entries only. And I'm pretty sure what that entitles is that you're pretty much, you pre-register and you're going to be in an exclusive drawing. So like they're going to, pull out a number or something, and that's another thing, you could win a prize. All right. So, but I'm going to look more into that, because I just want to make sure that is what it is, but it's stated on the flyer. So there's Builder's Choice Awards for the theme of tuners and drifters. There's best of show, best paint, best undercarriage, best engine, best junior, up through age 16, best detail, and special awards. There will be an award there will be a Masterpieces Award. There'll be an award from Juan for You, Bunch Brothers, Dedicated Magazine Award, and finally an award by us, Scale Riders, as well. So we'll have a special award there. So basically for those special awards, meaning, every one of us is participating in the sponsorship of our awards, where we get to pick and decide, who are our special award picks for what we see there on the table. So definitely come out. It's always a nice view when you get to see all the awards like on the table lined up, along with all the other prizes that are being raffled throughout the day. So it's very, very nice. If you want more information on this, please visit laskeyscale.com/SoCal Open. Again, you can always get in contact with Art Lasky, and at the same time, if you're on Instagram, contact Dedicated Magazine. You can always get in contact with them. Check them out on Instagram. If you have any questions whatsoever of the upcoming show, or if you want to get in contact with me as well, relay a question, I can always answer you back with that, get that information. And I want to mention some of the sponsors for this event. So Grex, Tamiya, Costera Brush, Detail Junkies, Down to Scale, Iceman, Collections, Protec, Scale Finishes, Lowrider, Model Car Parts, Showcase Hobbies, Scale Pro Shop, Masterpieces, The Model Car Garage, Mark S. Gustafson, Attorney at Law, and also finally Scale Riders. So please make sure to check on the website if there's any further information that you want to look into. And you can always, like I said, you could pre-register there. So at this event, like I've said before, I will be there vending at this event. The last event I vended at was at Ventura. That was awesome. Before that was up north, San Jose, NNL West. That was awesome. And now this one is going to be even more awesome. So I'm looking forward to it. I had from a show in February, the month of March off, the month of April off, and now we're coming back to another show in the month of May, which I'm very excited about. Every time I'm leading up to the show, I'm thinking to myself, all right, what do I bring? What do I bring? What do I have new, or what's something that I consider like a classic that my customers are looking for? So definitely for this show, we're going to be bringing the model kits, some tools, the paints, splash paints. So you'll be able to see a lot of the different things that I do offer on the online store, and you'll be able to see it there firsthand as well. I will have stickers as well, along with the Scale Rider bags that I'll be bringing to the show. And like all purchases there at the show, I always put a sticker in the bag. So this way you go home with something for the bench, or just as a memory, but I'm very looking forward to it, and I'm just excited. I mean, it's coming up. We're, like I said, we're in the month of April, but it's flying by. I mean, it's going on. Like for myself, even leading up to that day, I'm so lucky that I'm able to even just get that day to be there to vend, because family business, we get busy around this time. Like the beginning of May until like Mother's Day, I'm swamped. Working at a flower shop, that's the one of the biggest holidays in the flower industry. Mother's Day, Valentine's, huge. So a lot of work has to be done, especially on that weekend, pre-prep, because you're 1 week away from one of the biggest holidays coming up. So I was able to get that opportunity to not have to work that day from the day job, but I am still gonna be working. But this is a different type of work. This is something more that I'm passionate about. I'm excited about to see, all my modeler peers. There's friends that are going to be coming in from out of town too, so that's going to be really exciting. Aside from the SoCal Open, I want to move over and mention another event that will be taking place on May 6th. This is on a Saturday, okay? I'm going to tie all this in at the end after I mention these three events. So the second event, this is an event that's being hosted by a car club. So this is 1-to-1 scale car club. It's called Genocide Car Club, based out Southern California, Los Angeles. This is taking place May 6th. And the location, they're basically having their third annual G-Side party at the Pink Motel. And I've online, and I hear that these parties are pretty wild. They're pretty dope. They got, you see custom cars, lowriders, there's vendors, there's skateboarders. They got like a bowl from what I've seen in videos and stuff. Is pretty dope. But the thing why I wanted to bring this up and why this event sounds very fun too is that at this event, Armando Flores will be doing a Pink Motel presentation. So he's been working hard and working behind the scenes, creating the Pink Motel along with Modelcars, and he's been also collaborating with other model car artists they're going to be working together to have this come to life and present this at this event. This will be the first time that he'll be presenting this particular presentation here at this event, something new. A lot of us know, Armando has done a very astounding work throughout the years with all his builds. But then again, he reached that peak in like the early 2000s where now he had to push the model car scene into the more of a formal like art scene so people can see, and enjoy the model cars at presentations. And over time, it's been one of those growing things where you start to involve other modelers and more of your peers, where it becomes a big collaborative project and work where, you have things that come together. As an example, like the Whittier Boulevard, it was collaboration with Armando, with the Down Scale guys, and it's just, there's just a lot of people, a lot of things that just come together to have these things come to light. And now, as we're in 2023, this is a whole new presentation that later we will start to see at events as well. And I just wanted to spread word on this. If if you're open on the Saturday, this is definitely an event you want to come out to. It's from 1 to 9 p.m. So this is more of an afternoon, evening event. So let's move on to the third show. Okay, so this third show is going to be taking place in Los Angeles. And this is at the Los Angeles Convention Center. So this is like deep in the heart of Los Angeles, downtown LA. You got the skyscraper buildings there. You're maybe like, couple miles or a mile away from the 6th Street Bridge, all the bridges, the river bottoms right there, all the very iconic, famous locations where people get videos, where movies are shot, all this good stuff. It's like right there. What used to be the Staples Center, where the Lakers play and all that, it's going down right there. So this show, this is being hosted and thrown by Original Lowrider. So this is called Original Lowrider Experience 2023. taking place, Los Angeles. And then plus it's like Cinco de Mayo weekend. So there's a lot of festivities gonna be going on, and this is the weekend. This is like the Saturday and the Sunday. Okay, so what is original lowrider? So original lowrider, if by now maybe a lot of you guys do know or don't know, but when if this is the first time you're hearing it, you're gonna have a big connection of connecting that with Joe Ray. Joe Ray being like the voice, the face of lowrider. Think of if you're a UFC fan, if you're like a UFC fanatic, combat sports and all that. Think of Dana White and UFC. Like, who is Dana White and what is Dana White to UFC? Dana White is the face of UFC, right? The same thing. Joe Ray is the face of lowrider. Okay, so original lowrider, that is a brand that's his brand, and I mean I'm sure there's other people involved. I really don't know too much about the who's involved in what, but I know that he is the face and that is his brand, and this brand is something that it's like coming out of another company. I don't want to say the name of the company, but just think of it as like, the way I look at it is like, it's like skateboarders. Okay, back then skateboard companies were run by corporations, or they were started by a skater, but then they got funded by a corporation and it blew up like huge, where now you had too many hands in the pot, where executives, people that had no connection to skateboarding, were kind of making these decisions as to what to do. The budget cuts here, budget cuts there. We don't want this no more. We don't want this. Where it's almost like a shady kind of formula, sort of, to the skaters. Okay, not for the business point of view, but more for the skaters. So then it got to the point where the skaters are kind of tired of that, and they're more like, you know what? Why am I skating for the skateboard company that I kind of don't have these freedoms? You know what? I'm gonna drop the team and I'm gonna start my own company. And then you got examples as like girl skateboards that emerged out of like World Industries, and then later chocolate skateboards. That's still like a sister label to girl skateboards, and all these things started to come out, and then little by little you have other companies starting to emerge out. But these are all skater brands that are owned from skaters. So these are like bootstrap people that are in the trenches, and they know what's up, and they know what the skaters want, and they know, like, this is my scene. This is the way I'm going to carve my scene of how I want it to be. So think of this brand, Original Lowrider, is the same thing. Like, it's not a corporation operated where you got corporate people who have no connection to lowrider, who don't even own a lowrider. Like these are real people who like live it every day, from, customizing cars, painting the cars, cruising them, being pulled over, being harassed, being not accepted, then accepted. All the different stages of what an original lowrider person is. So this show, it's a big one, and the way I'm gonna, just tie everything is like this. Okay, so this is going down on the weekend, all right? And if you want to be doing everything, okay, you can hit up the Original Lowrider event the Saturday, start early in the morning, check all the rides, and then after that, you take off, get some food, then you hit the genocide event at the Pink Motel. Now you're gonna see you're gonna see like two different worlds, not different, but different styles, different flavors, but it ties in together, right? You're gonna get very inspired. You see those things right there. You get to see the presentation that Armando's doing. You get to see the model cars, 101 skill cars. You get to see some skaters skating the bowl. And then the night's done. Check out. Then the Sunday, all right? Sunday is a SoCal Open. Big show. Starts from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Hit that in the morning. Participate, be there. See a bunch of model cars. And then on top of that, if you want to look at 101 scale classic cars, you can step outside and boom, another car show. You look at that. And then it's 3 p.m. It's over. You wrap up. You jump on, man, I'm thinking what? You jump on the 405 or no, hell no. That's going to be too much traffic. You jump on the 118 freeway, you shoot down the 210, and then you have to make your way to downtown LA, and then bam, you're back. If you want to go for the second day of Original Lowrider experience, you're there. The Sunday, the last day, check out, get some more photos, check out the hop and everything, and then you're done. Get some food, go home, and just scroll through your phone and look at all the photos you just took. All the things you just saw. Everything jam-packed into a weekend. That's like if you want to like get real crazy, right? But if not, then I already put 3 cards out there, 3 shows and you decide of what you want to hit up right there. But like I said, all these shows, it's they're very exciting, fun shows that are coming up, and they all are car related. You know, whether it's a model car or a 1-to-1 scale car. You know, it's that love that we have for cars. It's right there, and it's just up to you. What do you want to see? Where do you want to go? So I just wanted to lay that out there for you, because sometimes I get people that ask like, yo, anything going down or what? And, you know, sometimes I do have that info and sometimes I don't. Sometimes there ain't nothing going down, you know. I mean, there is stuff going down, but it's not car stuff. It could be music stuff or maybe something else, you know, that's going down around these dates. But yeah, from what I know, my homie Dennis Matthews, all the way from Florida, is going to be coming out to California that weekend. Hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully George Vision 124, shout out to him. He's going to be coming out here. Hoping to probably see him out here that weekend. So that should be exciting. So if you're going to be in California, there's a lot of stuff going down that weekend. It's going to be like packed. And I mean, I know a lot of people are going to be talking like, oh yeah, this is going down right now and this is going down right now. So, you know, you're hearing it here on the podcast. If there's any other event that's going on that weekend or the next weekend of May, please let me know. Keep me posted. That should be sounds pretty fun. So that's that segment for the shows. The next part I want to jump into, I want to talk about my current model car builds, my current projects that I got going on right now. But real quick, let me take a sip from my coffee cup. All right, guys. So, okay, first things first. I am working, or I've been working for what, like 2 years now, I want to say. The Liberty Walk, Aoshima Liberty Walk Lamborghini Huracan. Okay? So, this car, I was looking at my pictures and it was just taking me back from the stages when I got the kit, opened it up, and I was just amused at the way everything went together. The booklet it came with, you know, it took me back to like, oh man, this is like, I feel like I just opened up a master grade Gundam kit, you know, colored pages, everything's very clear, looks very elegant, and even the type of plastic that they use, the red on the body, it was just something that I was like, man, this is almost like a Gundam. And looking through the photos, I see where I like primered the body, where I started to drill out the rivets, like the stock rivets that are already on the body. I drilled those out, so now I had all these like pinholes all over throughout the body kit, and to the stages where I painted it black, and then I hit it with the midnight purple and by splash paints, and then finally clear coating it and everything right there, right? But little did I know that I was gonna run into a big problem. I had no idea that I was gonna run into a big problem with that car. And it had to do with the clear coat and the preparation that I didn't think of and consider, because out of all the cars that I've built, the issue I was having was with the windows. So all windows from cars that I've built have always gone in from the inside. So popping in them in the body from the inside and then gluing the inside. This particular model kit, I had to glue the front window and the two side windows from the exterior, making contact with the body. So the issue that presented itself was that when I clear coated this car, I just went through the process that I normally do with my cars, where, I shoot my first coat of clear, mist it on really lightly, flash time 10 minutes, come back, second coat, which is a little bit more heavier, like more like a mid coat. And then now I take a 10 to 15 minute flash time to chill. And then I come back and I hit that third one a bit more heavier, where now it's more like a wet look. And what was happening is that as I was spraying that clear, I'm spraying it along the pillars, along all the edges and everything. And what was happening is that I was building up those pillars, those edges around the window. I just kept building it up more, and then more with clear. Finally, when it came down to finally polishing the car, and all right, cool, I'm getting close to completion, I'm all hyped up, I'm happy, I'm seeing the sunset go down, and I'm just hyped, like, yo, tonight's gonna be the night, we're gonna put this thing together. I get the glass, and as I'm putting it on, I'm like, what's going on? This thing don't even fit. Like, the fitment on this thing, it won't even pop in. I had to like kind of force it in, but I felt like I'm gonna end up breaking this thing. I'm gonna break this car. Like, I could already tell with my hands. Like, not meaning like I was gonna throw it on the ground, but you know what I mean? Like, as I'm holding the body and I'm using my two fingers and I'm trying to pop this thing in, it's not going in. So then I stopped, and I started to just look, and then I was like, right away I knew. I was like, oh man. And I could see the clear in there, right? It's all glossy, and the buildup, it's kind of thick, and I'm like, dang, I'm gonna have to go in there and like kind of scrape that all off. So I just started scraping it off, started getting it off slowly, taking my time. And then underneath, so when you place the glass, there's like a little piece of styrene that is there to receive the glass. So this way it doesn't fall through, right? I had to cut that off, because when I would finally, I had some clearance and I was pushing the glass in, the glass was still popping out. It wasn't flush with the body. It was just popping out. Like, it looked weird. And I was like, dang, I need to like cut that out so then I could push it even further down and it could be flush now. So I cut it out. It's flush. And now the issues I'm having is, since there's no more supports, I have to like tape the glass from the exterior, line it up, and then from the interior, I have to put glue in, right? So I started using the what is it, the CA gold glue for this, right? Because I was like, oh, it's not gonna fog up the windows. I'm gonna use the accelerator, boom. And I started doing it. I started having issues, like it would dry up and everything, and then after a while, like, I would like barely touch it and it'd fall. Like it just would not hold. And then I was like, oh man, if I start using like a little bit more of an aggressive, like a CA glue, I'm gonna risk fogging that glass. I'm gonna ruin it. But I was very tempted, and then I said to myself, you know what? I need to go back old school. I need to go back, to the canopy glue. It's been a minute since I've used some, so I taped up the glass. Got everything cleaned up, did the whole process again, taped everything up, lined it up. I busted out with the canopy glue. I started pouring it all around the edges from the inside, getting it in there, making sure that, all right, cool, like everything's covered. And I just let it dry. And I remember I put that model body away for like about maybe a week or two. I would not touch it. Finally, I came back and I like took off the tape, and that thing is like on there. Like it's already like it's part of the body. It won't come off, I mean, unless I force it out, but just tapping it, it's not coming off. Like, and I was like, all right, cool. I'm happy with that. Done. So now I had to move on to the side windows. Side windows, same problem. Though those windows would not fit no more because of the clear. And no matter how much I would press it down and try to glue it, even if I glued it with the canopy glue, the center section was gonna pop out. It just looked weird. It almost looked like it warped, like the glass warped, but I don't think it did. It was just like the clear wasn't letting anything sit. So I decided, you know what? Let me cut the windows out. It'll look like if the driver rolled down the window from the driver's side and the passenger side. That's the way it's gonna like kind of look. So you can see the interior. Unfortunately, I didn't go all out on the interior. I didn't detail it. I didn't do anything crazy. To me, I was just like, for this car, my focus is more on the exterior. The paint job, the clear coat job. It has carbon fiber parts, and then I'm also gonna put in the little rivets from Zoom On. There was all these like things that was more of the focus for this build. For me, the interior was like, is this gonna be all black? And that's it. I didn't really want to go too crazy on the interior. So I cut out the windows, and then I ended up putting the other two pieces, since they were all separated, in there. And it worked out. I was like, all right, cool, we're done. Let's move on to the rivets. Now that the rivets, I had already pre-drilled those holes, I still had to go back and like just go in there and re-drill them for a second time. And I had to be very careful, just because it's such a small little drill bit that you risk breaking it, if you tilt it a little. So pre-drilled everything. All right, cool, we're done. So now the next thing was applying the rivets onto those holes to the body. And man, so the rivets I used are the ones from Zoom On, right? I carry the Zoom On products, and like any product, if I have it in my shop, I'm gonna use it too. I gotta be using it, right? So busted out the rivets. I'm gonna put these on, and I get my God hand tweezers, and I know those tweezers are known for holding lots of stuff, right? Small stuff, and you could even shake it and you could still be holding it. And I get my first rivet, and I have it in the tweezer. But next thing you know, I realize I'm like squeezing this thing so tight, like it's starting to feel uncomfortable, like it's hurting my fingers, right? And when you're doing something like that and it's hurting, you're not doing it right. I already knew like, oh, this isn't the way I should be squeezing this tweezer. Like this just doesn't feel natural, because it shouldn't be hurting. it's like I have a friend who's like a masseuse, and he's told me, like, when you're giving someone a massage, and like if your hands are getting tired, or your thumbs or whatever are hurting, and you're giving someone, you're doing it all wrong. It's not supposed to hurt you at all. The movements and the way, the positioning and the way you do the stuff with your hands. So I was thinking about that, and I was like, dang, I never thought about that, but you got a good point there. So I was thinking, like, all right, this ain't right. And then next thing you know, the minute I loosen up my hand, boom, rivets like falls off, gone. I can't find it. I get another one, and I'm trying to apply it into the thing, and then it's all awkward, and then I drop it, and I'm like, damn. I ended up losing like 5 rivets right off the bat. And I was like, dude, I think I needed all those for this car, because it has a lot of little holes that are on this wide body kit. So I was looking around and just thinking, all right, what do I need to do? I need to do something. I know I'm doing something like incorrect, and then what popped in my head was magnets. And I said, oh, I know what I need to do. I need to grab my magnets to be able to get a rivet, because the magnet's way bigger than the rivet. And if I put 4 magnets together lined up, and I have the rivet at the tip, the force of that magnet is strong now, because it's 4 times. So when I apply it, it's just going to be a lot better, right? So I'm looking around, and then I find my magnets, pull them out. I stack like 4 magnets together. So then I started to kind of create a process there. So what I did was, I have like I have my cutting mat, but what I was learning is that time when I was dropping those rivets and they fell, they would hit the cutting mat, but then they would like somehow just fall on the ground or disappear, right? So I said to myself, all right, I need to lay something out, so this way when they fall here and they don't fall and bounce and roll away. So I ended up just getting one of those. It's like a black. You can even use a T-shirt. Let's say just a black cloth, right? Or a T-shirt, and you lay it on your bench. You have your car, and then I had the little bag that has all the rivets inside. So what I would do is I would put all the rivets at the bottom of the bag. I would get my tweezers. I would stick my tweezers in the bag, grab a rivet, pull it out, but not completely out of the bag, just enough to be at the edge of the bag, and then I'd let it go. So it still is in the bag. And then I would put my tweezers away, get the magnets, the 4 magnets that are stacked, and now I would put the magnet close to the edge of the bag where the one rivet that I pulled out with the tweezers was. Next thing you know, the rivet flies out of the bag and it makes contact with the magnet. So sometimes the rivets can land sideways on the tip of the magnet. So then, with your fingers or with your nails, you can flip the rivet. So now you have the rivet head touching the magnet. So now you position yourself like, all right, cool, this rivet's going to go here on this part of the body. So you get the magnet and you line it up into the little hole and you push it in. And as you insert, now it's there, right? So the magnet, you slide it sideways, because if you pull it out, what's going to happen is there might be a chance where that rivet might just jump out of its hold and position and go back into the magnet. So you want to slide it out sideways. As you slide it out sideways, the rivet will stay. The next thing you can do is glue the rivet. Since you drilled through the hole, you can be very careful to put either your finger over the rivet, and you can flip the car sideways or upside down. Get some of the Tamiya thin cement and just lightly brush it on the underside of the body. So this way the cement makes contact with the rivet and the body, and it just, it just sticks, and that's it. Cool. And then you go back and you do the same process over and over, each rivet one at a time. Be very patient. Take your time. If you only can put 5 rivets at a time or 10, cool, take a break and then come back. But like I said, have all the rivets at the bottom of the bag, pull one out, get it as close as possible to the edge of the bag, insert, the magnets, not all the way, but just barely enough so it picks it up. And you keep repeating this process. The more you're doing it, the more efficient and faster you start to get, the more the muscle memory kicks in, that insecurity goes away. Like now that confidence grows and you're just like, boom, 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 putting them on. And it's nothing crazy. At the end result, once I was like done inserting all the rivets, I managed to see that I'm missing about maybe like about 3 holes where there's rivets. And, I'm going to be getting more in the store, and I'm going to be getting more rivets in. So I'm definitely going to be able to fill in those 3 spots. But the more I was like staring at this car, the more I looked at those rivets, the scale that they're in and everything, I was really impressed. And I was like, man, I really like the size of those rivets. When you see them in the back, they look tiny. You're like, damn, these are small. But when you put them on your car, it makes a big difference. And man, they look cool. They look super cool. And it's one of those things where, I experienced doing this rivet process that now, looking back at a couple of previous models, I'm kind of like, dang, I wish I would have drilled out, the holes, drilled out the holes and being able to add those rivets. I wish I would have done that, But you know what? It's all good, because this is part of learning. This is part of moving forward. Now with models coming up, it's like that's going to be the new thing, right? Whenever I do like a wide body or that has rivets or whatever. And it's almost the same like when I had the experience with installing like the photo etch disc brakes to my cars. That was like a game changer for me. I never ever thought about doing that, adding disc brakes. I would see the kits, but they never really caught my eye, or interest to be like, oh, I want to add that to my cars. Finally, when, I ended up using disc brakes, photo etch ones from the Aoshima kit that went on my GTR R35 Liberty Walk. I was like, when I shined those ones up and I put them on the car and I got to see the way, like even till now, I love looking at that car. I just admire looking at it. I admire looking at the wheels and everything. That I'm like, man, like I just love that car. And this EF9 that I'm going to talk about next, that one also has disc brakes. The thing about the EF9 is that one has disc brakes, and then there's this other Civic that I'm working on that is also going to have disc brakes. It's just one of those things where I'm kind of like too into it now with the disc brakes, where it's almost like a car that's not going to have disc brakes of mine, I'm going to be like, oof, like it's missing something. Like this is weird. Like it's got to have disc brakes. So for this Liberty Walk Lamborghini, it doesn't have photo etch disc brakes. It just has the stock ones, right? And I was like, all right, like I guess once I'm done with the rivets, like this car is done. It's a done deal. But then I started to like do research, and I know that Aoshima hasn't released like, let's just say a Liberty Walk, Lamborghini photo etch set that would have the Liberty Walk logo and like saying like it's for this particular kit. That's not out. But what is out is there are a couple of photo etch kits that are for a Yoshinba Lamborghini, and managed to do research and look at the positioning of the front and the rear brakes, and I feel like I narrowed it down to maybe I think I found the closest set that is going to be compatible with my Liberty Walk Lamborghini. And from that set, like, it's one of those things I wish I would have bought this back then, because then I would have already known and applied it or whatever. But at this point, if those disc brakes, at this point I could take off the wheels, the current wheels it has, the brakes, and just look at them. And then if I'm able to layer that disc brake over it, oh, dude, I'm going to be so happy. If that's the fit, I'm going to, get those polished up, get them cleaned up, rough them up, put some black panel line in there and everything. And that's basically going to be the final thing that's going to be needed to be added to that car. If those do fit and I do all that and I fit them in, I'm going to be so happy. Like, oh my God, I'm just going to be so super happy. And I mean, I'm already happy with the car as is, but I'm going to be even more ecstatic if those fit. So so that's one. I mean, I have it in a case and the car looks like it's done, right? But in my mind, I know it's not done yet until it has those 3 rivets in there. We got the disc brakes on and all that. Then we're good to go. All right. So the next car is the EF9. This is the new plots, which previously was like a B-Max model, 124 scale. And with this EF9, I'm also using parts from White Chocolate. And it's in all black. It has a Scale Riders livery on it. I mean, livery. It's only like door decals, right? And a rear decal and a decal on the rear top wing. And I mean, I'm happy with the look. Sorry, guys. It's like 12:19 a.m. right now. But I've been awake. Like, I got up like at 4 a.m. earlier today, but I needed to do a podcast before I go to sleep. So anyway, the EF9, that car, it's one of those builds where I was putting in a lot of work in the beginning when I started off with the car, along with what was very exciting was like trying to get the stance into the way I was in I like the way it's going to look with the wheels, the mock-up, all that. I had fun doing all that stuff, and then I got the car painted like black primer. I got the decals on and everything. The next phase I needed to do was clear coat, but I ended up just putting the car in the box and I put it away and I just stopped messing with it and I started messing with other stuff. So, sometimes I just like, when I pause stuff, I pause it, and it's almost like music, you could be on a roll where you're creating music constantly, making a beat, boom, 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 and then you get to a point where you just kind of stop. You have to step away. You do other stuff, and you can question yourself, man, why haven't I just finished this track, or what the heck's going on? But then later it hits you, it comes, or you see something, or you hear something, or whatever, or you hear someone say something and it inspires you, And that's kind of where I'm at with this car, where I gave it a break, it came back, and, it was just that inspiration more like pumped up, and I was like, dang, I know what I need to do. So clear coat is like the next thing that needs to be done to this car to wrap up the exterior body. This is another model where I have to fit my windows in from the exterior. So there was certain areas where I applied tape this way. And I'll make the same mistake of clear, getting in there, jacking it up, setting myself back. I'm trying to prevent myself. So my plan, here's going to be my plan. Come in, hit it with the light coat, give it time to dry, 10-minute flash, come back, mid-coat, boom, 10-15 minutes down a flash. Final coat, get it like wet, but when it comes to around the windows, I have to be really lightly on each coat, right? But when I'm done on that final coat, I already have like my tweezers and everything set, so I can start pulling off all that tape. Like, very careful. Like, pull it out, put it away. Now this way, everything starts to settle, right? And then it's done, and then from there, I could move on and start to work on the interior. Damn, it sounded funny, like a whole different person was like in the background. But yeah, start working on the interior and start going from there. Then I need to start hammering this coffee here if it could kick in. And so for the interior, I'm thinking of going with like a gray, like a gray interior, because the inside's like stripped. So it'll be like a gray interior. Roll cage will be black. Dashboard will be black. The door panels, I'm still debating whether if I should keep them black or just go gray as well. And then as far as like for the headlights, one of the headlights, the headlights are in chrome, but I'm going to de-chrome one of them. Most likely it's going to be, if I'm sitting in the car and the car is a right-hand side, most likely the one I'm going to be taking out is probably going to be from that same side, from the right-hand side. Because if I'm not going to be using like a K20 engine, and with the way the intake's going to go, I want to de-chrome that because I want to be running like the intake through the front headlight. So this way, or like the scoop, so it's going in through there, and I want to paint it black. Obviously, like the car, it's going to be in there. So it's going to look quite interesting in the front. Like one headlight is going to be normal, and then the other one isn't. The other one's not going to be like a headlight for the purpose of for what it originally is. And then I'll probably cut tape, and I'll probably put little X's on the headlight, and start to kind of bring this car to life. And my goal, I'm hoping to get this car done for SoCal Open, because I will be bringing the building, the Scale Riders HQ building that David created for me. I'll be bringing that. I'll most likely have it on my table, and then I'll start to I'll put the Civic on there, and then I'll rotate like other cars to be kicking it right there, so like for like photographs or whatever. And then I'll move those to the side, and whoever wants to bring their car over, you're more than welcome to set your car there, and we could get some photographs of your car hanging out there at the HQ. I think it would be like super cool and awesome to have that there, but those two cars are currently there. I mean, there are other model cars that I have in the stash that I'm quite excited about, but the EF9 is definitely one that I need to start getting it done, so this way I could bring out EF9, the Lambo, bring that out, and the blue GTR R35. I definitely want to bring that out right there. So the next thing I want to talk about is the restocks and new items. So let me go on the website. So see here, I'm in front of my computer. This one's gonna make it a lot easier. ScaleRiders.com. So some of the items that we got in, if let's start with the tools. So we did acquire a lot of Tamiya products, and as far as Tamiya products, they make some outstanding, dope products. And I mean, anywhere from, you know, the tapes, the primers, the tweezers, the nippers, all that good stuff. It's all pretty good stuff. So you know, I had a guy ask about the stands, like this is like the ones for the spray. So like if you're airbrushing your model car, and you want to put your model car on a paint stand, you know, we did get those back in stock. That's something that's definitely a product I recommend. We also got the Tamiya Weathering Set D, which is it has burnt blue, burnt red, and oil stain. I've seen a lot of modelers use this particular set for when they're weathering like the exhaust tips and other parts of the exhaust system there. Italeri, the VW Golf GTI, the Volvo 760 GLE, Toyota, Land Cruiser, we got those in the store finally. I had been keeping my eye on those. I've been wanting to get those in. Those are back. Well, not back. They're in for the first time. What is back is the NSX, you know, the OG NSX and the newer NSX. We do have those in the store in stock. As far as like the Nissan R34, we do have the GTR Nismo Z-Tune in the store, the Nissan R33 Skyline GTR 2-door from Fujimi, and also from Fujimi, the Slidey S13 plus RS13 2-door car from Fujimi. Another, I noticed every time I get these wheels, they sell out fast. They're the Volk Racing TE37. I mean, yeah, these wheels are hot. I was only able to get 6 sets, but those are in the store. Supras, those are back in stock from Tamiya. The Fujimi Spoon Civic Type R, new item that arrived. The Honda Civic Fiero, that's another new item, and along with the Nissan Skyline RSC R30 2000 turbo with intercooler RSX. That's another one. That's a new one right there. The R35, the GTR Pure Edition. One thing about this car that I later learned is that this one comes with the engine. You know, it doesn't get promoted or anything, but I mean, you could, let's just say you're going to do a Liberty Walk car and, you know, it doesn't come with the engine, but you wanted an engine, you could always use the engine from this car right here. You could just snag it and put it on there. The Fujimi Honda Civic Type R LA EP3. And then another one, the Nissan 430 Cedric Sedan. That Cedric Sedan is so dope. Super old school, cool looking car. Man, if I could buy this car, I'd buy it. I drive that thing, dude. It just looks amazing. Like it's super cool. A very cool car. We did get a large restock on Scale Motorsport. Everything from the decals to the scribing tools and to even their stands for displaying your models at the show. That came in not too long ago. The same with Go for Racing. You know, a lot of decals, interior seat belts, even the new racing seat belts are out. Detail Masters, we re-upped on a lot of stuff that we needed to re-up from Detail Masters. The next couple of brands in detail parts that are on their way. The first one being Zoom On Model. Keep your eyes peeled for the Zoom On Model. I know they just came out with this like really amazing photo etch set to spray, you know, the paint from your airbrush onto this stencil which can be used on your radiator of your model car from your favorite brand. It's so cool. Something people have been wanting. It's finally here. Zoom keeps pushing the envelope. They keep delivering. They keep giving us what we want. And I mean, they're doing it right there. So Zoom order is coming in. I would say within a week it should be here. It shouldn't take too long, but it's on its way. Then after that, we are expecting a larger order of Top Studio Detail Master products. So that's another one. And I would say later this month, we should be expecting to finalize and get the latest order from Mr. Model all the way in Brazil right there. So please stay tuned for that. Next week we got a bunch of model kits that are going to be coming in as well. I feel like when I went on my trip to Spain, I couldn't really do any purchasing on anything just because I was going to be away and like I'd feel uncomfortable with knowing like, oh yeah, they just they're like, you can't ship nothing out. You got packages that are like waiting for you outside your door and everything. So I just was like, I'm not going to buy nothing, I'm just going to let it be, take this break, chill, relax, and then I'll be back to the grind when I get back. So definitely, as I came back, I started, getting in contact with my suppliers, my vendors. I started getting in a bunch of stuff and even some kind of hard to find stuff that they were able to get for me. And I mean, now everything's coming in, like a lot of things already came in earlier this month, and already next week I should be expecting more stuff to come in to fill in all these like little holes and little pockets of like things that have been out of stock for a while. And even on some stuff, it just went on out of stock now, but I'm able to get all those things right there. So please check out the website, scaleriders.com. Big variety. I'd say right now the store is like looking very healthy. Like there's just so much product, so much stuff. Basically, we got everything from, a model kit to the supplies that you need to prep the model, the paints, that you need, the tools in order to build this model and have it all ready. So I just want to let you guys know. I hope you guys are doing well. This is 65 Locs signing off. Please keep on building. Stay safe out there. And I'll see you guys soon. Later.